Federal government manages and allocates trillions of dollars each year to programs that help individuals, families, and businesses, whether that be Social Security, Medicare, crop insurance for farmers, school lunch benefits, health insurance for children, and a host of other essential programs. But that money does not always go where Congress intends. For fiscal year 2021, 86 high-risk federal programs estimated improper payments. Of their $3.9 trillion in outlays, 7.2% were paid improperly, it's estimated. That translates into $281 billion, more than any other fiscal year since 2003. Today's hearing examines the causes of those improper payments and explores solutions for reducing them. The law defines an improper payment as, quote, any payment that should not have been made or that was made in an incorrect amount, including an overpayment or an underpayment, under a statutory, contractual, administrative, or other legally applicable requirement. Improper payments are an imperfect but valuable way of measuring program integrity. In short, they help us to answer the question, is the federal government distributing money in the way Congress intended? If federal improper payments were low, the answer would clearly be yes. Unfortunately, they're not. I should be clear, there are many causes of improper payments. Some improper payments can be attributed to fraud, but many are simply paperwork errors. For example, when an individual or business accidentally checks a box on a form, perhaps because of confusing instructions, language barriers, or bad internet access, and by checking that box, it affects the amount provided. Some improper payments are even underpayments, and when the government pays someone less than the amount for which they in fact qualify. Unfortunately, more often than not, government does not know the cause of any particular improper payment. Not knowing a payment's error cause makes it difficult to distinguish fraud from anything else. And without good data to help us identify root causes of these improper payments, the government can't make evidence-driven decisions that enhance program integrity to prevent fraudsters from gaining unlawful access to government services and to ensure individuals and businesses access those services for which they qualify. In short, bad data and deteriorating IT infrastructure all too often makes it, in fact, near impossible to fix the problem we see today without reinvigorating our IT investments. History seems to agree. Though improper payments have been a priority for Congress since the beginning of the 21st century, they remain high and they continue to grow, as this chart, which I hope will be up. Oh, there it is, as that chart shows. Thank you, Joshua. If you look at the screen, you'll see how improper payments have steadily grown since Congress first required tracking and measurement under the Improper Payments Information Act of 2002. As the figure shows, Congress has enacted 5 bills into law that sought to identify and reduce these improper payments in 2002, in 2010, in 2012, 2016, and 2019. Despite the efforts, improper payments are at an all-time high. So we've gotten better at reporting, not so good at reducing. According to the 2020 American Customer Satisfaction Index, the federal government ranks among the bottom of all industries in the United States in customer satisfaction. Public trust in government remains near a historic low. As April of last year, only 24% of individuals expressed trust in government. These low scores are the result, all too often, of poor customer experience and excessive improper payments. We can and must do better to enhance program integrity in the federal government, ensuring federal assistance goes to everyone Congress intended to receive it, and nobody we didn't. Clearly, things have to change. To help enact such change, I hope today's hearing will hit home 3 main points. First, we must keep in mind our motivation for reducing improper payments. Put simply, it is to ensure that money goes where Congress intends. That means we must do everything we can to stop those elements from stealing government funds, those criminal syndicates who are organized to do that. And it also means we must ensure government funds go to everyone Congress intends to reach in an accurate way. Second, there exists a false trade-off in the minds of some between preventing fraud and designing accessible, intuitive, and equitable services. In fact, when done right, governments can deploy modern technologies that prevent fraud and improve the customer experience, designing more elegant and simple platforms by which families and businesses and individuals can apply for and access the services they need and for which they're qualified. Government programs can combat waste, fraud, and abuse while they save and improve lives. Finally, I want to highlight that good quality data and the modern IT infrastructure that can support its collection, sharing, and analysis are foundational to tackling improper payments. Data is key to reducing paperwork errors and fraud without putting a burden on the public. Using data as a solution is not a controversial thing. Last July, the Office of Management and Budget and the Pandemic Response Accountability Committee issued a payment integrity alert on the use of automation and data analytics to, quote, support agency missions while mitigating payment integrity risks, unquote. Using and matching data sets to identify potential improper payments, fraudulent or otherwise, is fundamental and nonpartisan. We need the will to make it happen. I plan to introduce legislation built upon these 3 principles. The bill will establish an office dedicated to program integrity to implement robust oversight of federal agencies' program integrity efforts. Importantly, the office will shift from a compliance-based to an action-oriented approach by requiring federal programs with significant risk of improper payments to implement proactive, data-driven, and outcome-oriented anti-fraud controls. In addition, the bill would ensure that agencies minimize the burden of their anti-fraud controls on the public. By focusing efforts on data collection, sharing, and analysis, the new office would enhance program integrity in the highest priority federal programs without putting undue burdens on those programs' customers. At its core, the bill would be about getting money to the places Congress wants it to go and preventing that money from going to places we don't. Republicans or Democrats, I think, can all agree that that's our ultimate goal. I look forward to working with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle on this legislation and hope we can pass it into law to get these numbers down. I now recognize the ranking member for his opening statement.
Thank you so much, Chairman